As the first rays of morning light filtered into the house, little Marc was excitedly packing his suitcase in his room. The sea, the sun, the sand, they were all waiting for him. But there was someone sitting quietly by the door. Toni. He was the family's adorable golden retriever. He had grown up with Marc since his birth, always by his side during every laugh. But this time something was different. Because this summer, Toni wouldn't be going on vacation with them. Toni's eyes wandered over the suitcases hanging by the door. With each new piece added, his tail wagged a little slower, the light in his eyes fading a little more with each passing minute. Marc turned to his mother. "Mom, please let Toni come too." But his mother shook her head sadly. "Dogs aren't allowed where we're staying on vacation, sweetie. Toni will stay at home and our neighbor will come by every day to look after him." Marc fell silent. He turned to Toni and hugged him. "I'll miss you, buddy. But I promise we'll play as soon as I get back." Thought balloon. So if it were you, could you leave behind a friend who has been by your side for years for a vacation? Toni found the answer to that question in his heart at that moment. He couldn't imagine a single day without Marc. The day before the vacation, an unusual silence reigned in the house. Toni wasn't eating or touching his toys. He was curled up in front of the door next to Marc's shoes as if to say, "Don't forget me." And that morning came. When the family headed for the door, Toni's tail began to tremble, but this time it wasn't out of joy. When Marc got into the car, Toni began to bark, wanting to run after the car, but his father held him back. The door closed. The sound of the engine faded away. The house was plunged into silence. After that day, Toni hardly ate anything. He looked out the window and waited. It rained, the sun came out, but Toni's eyes were always fixed on the same spot, the corner of the street. He thought Marc would turn up there. Days passed. Marc wasn't at peace on vacation either. Even while playing on the beach, Toni's face wouldn't leave his mind. While eating, he couldn't help but ask, "What is Toni doing now?" One night he came down with a fever. The doctor said, "There's no infection, just very low morale." His mother understood the truth at that moment. Thought balloon. Do you think a child can feel the absence of a friend so deeply? Sometimes love leaves the deepest marks on the heart. The next morning, the mother turned to the father. "We're going back. Marc isn't going to get better. Let's take Toni back." The journey was short, but every second felt like a lifetime for Marc. When they arrived home, Toni was curled up asleep in the garden in front of the window. When he heard Marc's voice, he lifted his head, hesitated at first. Then his tail suddenly began to wag rapidly. Marc ran and hugged him. "I'll never leave you again, Toni." From that moment on, the two were inseparable. The family now took Toni with them on vacation. They ran together by the sea, slept together on the beach. Marc's laughter mingled with Toni's barking. That summer wasn't just a vacation. It was the rebirth of a friendship. Thought balloon. Sometimes you don't need separation to understand love, but separations teach love more deeply. Toni and Marc knew this better than anyone. And at the end of the story, Marc hugged Toni once more and whispered in his ear, "This time, there will always be a place for you in the suitcase, my friend."